guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Hey guys, I'm back and it is Sunday, March 31st, last day in March if you can believe it. Tomorrow is April 1st and I cannot believe how extremely quickly March flew by. I mean, it's unbelievable, but I for one am looking forward to April, not only to see the developments in terms of Q and everything else, but also because it gets warmer here and that's always good news to me. Well, there are no Q posts yet today, but we're going to get into some Q related news. And of course, Q still has a little under 3 hours to post. So I'm not guaranteeing that there aren't going to be Q posts today, but so far there are none. So, and I do want to just let you guys know that tomorrow I may be posting, but I may not. I have to get up at 5:30 to take my mother. It's about 3 hours, well, it's a little over 3 hours away, and then 3 hours back to a doctor's appointment. And with my back injury, I have a spinal injury, and driving that distance, 3 hours there and back, really does not put me in great shape and is very, very hard on me physically. So I'm not sure what shape I'll be in when I get back. I am trying to do all that I can do, go to the gym and strengthen my back to the extent that I can. And I certainly don't tell that to you for anyone to feel sorry for me, because I feel absolutely blessed. I was told that I'd be in a wheelchair. I'm not. I'm totally mobile, and I am improving slowly. And I feel very grateful that I'm able to have my mobility. And so there you are. But I do tell you that because I don't want you to be looking for a post that might not come. But if Q posts tomorrow and there's a whack of them, I'm going to try to push myself to get through and post. So if you don't see me, you'll know I was probably in rough shape when I came back. If you do see me, then all's well. So, but I will, if I do not post tomorrow, I will get us caught up on Tuesday, guaranteed. All right, so let's get into the Q-related news and see what trouble we can get up to here. Now, you know that everybody, when Trump vetoed the wall thing, oh my gosh, you would think everybody called him a dictator, Hitler, you name it. I mean, everybody went absolutely off their nut. And it's craziness. It's absolutely lunacy, because look at this. This from Jack Murphy. Vetoes from past presidents. Reagan, 78. Bush, 44. Clinton, 27. Bush, 12. Obama, 12. Trump, 1. Yes, that's right, as in O-N-E. Yeah, and out of all those, guess who they're calling the dictator? See, we can't trust anything, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I know you guys know this. We can't trust anything that we hear, very little of what we see anymore. And I remember when I did my new media degree, we had this long discussion about whether or not pictures can lie. And at first, I mean, I really thought about that. Can a picture lie? Because it's taking a snapshot in time. So no, it's not really lying. Yes, it can. It can, because they can set up photographs any way they want. They can take, a stadium can be full, but they can take a picture of a part of the stadium that's empty and make it seem like there's nobody there. Yes, pictures can lie. So we cannot trust what we see, and we definitely cannot trust what we hear, especially from the mainstream media, who is bound and determined to manipulate us and mold us to their narrative, whether we want it or not. And they do so also by giving us selective information, leaving certain things out. I call that being economical with the truth. Now, probably a more accurate definition for that would be lying. So anyway, let's go on. I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't already know. And let's take a look at this from the Gateway Pundit. And actually, I think I already had that up. All right. Now, Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani warns deep state. We have an 87-page report ready to slam down their throats. President Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, joined Sean Hannity on Friday night to discuss the aftermath of the Mueller report. Rudy said the Mueller report was turned over to Rod Rosenstein 3 weeks ago before its release on Sunday. Rudy also warned the Mueller team of 13 angry Democrats that if their report is released, he will drop an 87-page report on the corrupt and criminal tactics of the special counsel. Rudy is no wilting flower. No, he's not. Rudy Giuliani. This is about as big of an exoneration that I've seen, and I've been in the prosecution business since the 1970s. And to try to reverse it, I think they look foolish and look pathetic. I haven't read the report. I haven't seen it. They can put out every part of it. It is not going to show either one, otherwise they couldn't come to the conclusion they came to. And secondly, if they happen to have a few nasty facts in there, I'm ready to slam it down their throat because we have an 87-page report that we will use. And there's some things the special counsel did that I don't think they want people to hear. They acted in ways that outrage me as a person who cares about justice. Then, at the end of the interview, as we reported on Friday, Rudy dropped a bomb on the deep state. The FISA warrant investigations will lead to perjury prosecutions, guaranteed. And how many of them committed perjury? A whole lot. Sean Hannity, I want to see that. I want to see the FISA applications. Rudy Giuliani, that one's going to lead to perjury prosecutions, guaranteed. They lied their backsides off. Oh, they sure did lie their backsides off. They lied their hinder parts off to the point where the back porch is done dropped off their house. Yes, they lied. All right, now we are going to go back and see what other trouble we can get into. Now this from Educating Liberals, great person to follow on Twitter, but I've told you that before. Representative Ilhan Omar has refused to condemn gays being stoned to death under the new Sharia laws in Brunei. Of course, yet Judge Janine, I always want to call her Jeannie, Judge Janine Pirro gets suspended for asking if Omar supports Sharia law. What a freaking joke. Yes, I would say so. And she's refused to condemn stoning gays to death. Now, okay, as a Christian, I may not agree with their lifestyle, but that is their choice. Do I think that they should be stoned to death? No. My gosh. Like, she refuses to condemn this. Unbelievable. And yet, Perot only asked if Omar supported Sharia law. She was kicked off. Now, she's back again, thank goodness, but she shouldn't have been kicked off in the first place. Probably their ratings were suffering. Or maybe they were threatened with a lawsuit. Who knows? But I'm sure it wasn't just a goodwill gesture to bring her back. It probably was either affecting their bottom line, one, or their viewership, or they were threatened. That's what I think. It doesn't make it true. It just means that's what I think. Okay, now look at this. From Britchen Post. Wish America would do that. She's saying that in response to, I stand with General Flynn. Denmark has banned the burqa to preserve its culture and ordered Muslim women to leave the country if they want to wear burqas and hijabs. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think that they should be allowed to practice their religion. However, when it comes to, having to change laws and so forth, like, for example, they had to change the laws to allow a burqa to be worn in, the house, and things like that. But we really do have to take steps to preserve our culture, because it's not that, I mean, I want to have freedom of religion, so I don't want to limit their freedom of religion, because if I do, then that could also limit mine. So the way I look at it is, I do think that we do need to preserve our culture, and we do need to limit immigration and so forth, because they're not coming here to integrate. They're coming here to take over. They said it out of their own mouths. They say these things. So it's not like I'm just making this up or being paranoid. Not at all. They do not want to integrate with our culture, and they want our culture to make all sorts of special arrangements for them. All of a sudden now, the grocery stores are having to carry halal meat, which is very cruelly slaughtered, and all sorts of things. I mean, the Subway restaurants in London can no longer serve bacon. I mean, I'm sorry, if you don't like bacon and this restaurant serves bacon, then don't go to the restaurant, but don't deny everybody else their bacon. People like their bacon in America, I'm telling you. Anyway. All right. And here from C3, President Trump has cut off all U.S. funding to El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala for their lack of cooperation with the caravans. Yet again, proving President Trump doesn't bluff. I love my president. And well, you should. And I agree. I mean, this immigration is costing us billions. And if you think that they're not still pouring over the border, it's like a screen door on a submarine. That's what it's like. They're just streaming through. And, we think that we've got all these things in place, but again, it's like a screen door on a submarine. It's not stopping them. They're coming over, and it's not stopping. Yes, the wall's going up, but too little, too late. I know President Trump is doing all that he can, and I do believe that, but they're still getting through. There's reports all over the place, and this is costing us billions as a country. So, yeah, why are we sending aid to these countries that won't even attempt to try to quell the problem of migration? Why? Why are we doing that? All right, let's go on. Now, I love this. Clinton has to pay hard cash to fill seats in a small amphitheater. We are by far the majority, despite the coordinated illusion in the media. That is the truth. I was blown away by the overflow crowds in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Overwhelmed and delighted, because these are people that support the president. I mean, there isn't people that disagree with the president going to these rallies. No, these are supporters, hardcore supporters, who want to hear what he has to say, who believe in him, who believe in America. Pretty awesome. All right, let's go on. All right, now I was just trying to, yes, I remember what this is now. It's all coming back to me like a bad dream. All right, Judicial Watch. Now I have a lot of respect for Judicial Watch. I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, it's not like, you would think that I'm like Pelosi and I've been giving mouth to mouth to a bottle of vodka, but I don't drink, so I don't know what my problem is tonight. I've just had a rough 2 days, but I know, me and everyone else. All right. The Judicial Watch blog Corruption Chronicles. Soros. U.S. subsidizes Soros' radical leftist agenda worldwide. New Judicial Watch special report shows. Why is what I would like to know. Why? I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, or I never have any hope of reading it, and neither will you. The U.S. government subsidizes billionaire George Soros' radical leftist agenda, dedicating hundreds of millions of dollars to his deeply politicized Open Society Foundation worldwide. Records uncovered by Judicial Watch show in a special investigative report. Judicial Watch documents the financial link between U.S.-funded entities and OSF affiliates to further the Hungarian-born philanthropist's agenda, seeking to destabilize legitimate governments, erase national borders, target conservative politicians, finance civil unrest, subvert institutions of higher education, and orchestrate refugee crisis for political gain. The special report also illustrates the financial and staffing nexus between OSF, and that is Open Society Foundation, and the U.S. government. In 2018, OSF projected expending more than $530 million, just $530 million, to promote Soros' radical globalist agenda in every corner of the world under the guise of supporting democratically elected governments, strengthening the rule of law, and promoting fairness in political, legal, and economic systems. The reality is far different, the report shows. Soros, with the help of American taxpayer dollars, bolsters a radical left-wing agenda that in the United States has included promoting an open border with Mexico and fighting immigration enforcement efforts, fomenting racial disharmony by funding anti-capitalist racialist organizations, financing the Black Lives Matter movement and other organizations involved in the riots in Ferguson, Missouri, weakening the integrity of our electoral systems, promoting taxpayer-funded abortion on demand, advocating a government-run healthcare system, opposing U.S. counterterrorism efforts, promoting dubious transnational climate change agreements that threaten American sovereignty, and working to advance gun control and erode Second Amendment protections. Now, the Soros network is engaged in an active effort to affect politics, economics, and societies globally, including in Europe, Albania, Macedonia, Romania, Hungary, and Latin America, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico. Judicial Watch has successfully investigated and litigated to document the paper trail left by the OSF network as it operates at taxpayer expense to subvert and manipulate the sovereignty of constitutional republics and allies of the United States. Last year, Judicial Watch exposed a collaborative effort between the U.S. government and Soros to destabilize the democratically elected center-right government in Macedonia. Records obtained by Judicial Watch in that investigation show that the U.S. ambassador to Macedonia worked behind the scenes with OSF to funnel large sums of American dollars for the cause, constituting an interference of the U.S. ambassador in domestic political affairs in violation of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. The cash, about $5 million, flowed through the State Department and USAID. The new report identifies OSF affiliates worldwide that receive U.S. government funding as well as the alarming figures. The Soros operations are highly sophisticated and work across academia, the legal system, labor, agriculture, and social justice organizations, as well as religious and political groups. Key personnel in the multifaceted OSF network are former American government officials known to leverage their status and access to benefit the OSF's goals. The report identifies a number of them, including, no surprise here, Barack Obama's Domestic Policy Council Director Cecilia Munoz, and who currently serves on OSF's U.S. Programs Board, and OSF President Patrick Gaspard, Director of Political Affairs in the Obama White House, and the U.S. Ambassador to South Africa. Others include OSF Director of Global Security, Dennis Reynolds, a former supervisory special agent with the Diplomatic Security Service at the State Department, and OSF Senior Policy Advisor, Emily Bernard, a former State Department Foreign Service officer and Africa Policy Officer. OSF-funded groups reportedly promoting, organizing, and supporting the illegal immigrant caravan that started in Honduras are also identified in the report. Many of the leftist groups also get hefty sums from Uncle Sam. They include the Catholic Legal Immigration Network, the American Constitution Society, Centro para la Acción Legal de Derechos Humanos, Center for Legal Action and Human Rights, and a multitude of others, including those named in a special report published by Judicial Watch earlier this year, focusing on OSF in Guatemala. The big question is, why are American taxpayers funding Soros and his highly politicized OSF? Judicial Watch will continue investigating and litigating to get answers. And I would suggest that you also ask your congressman, senator, whoever, why? Why is this allowed to continue? We should be outraged over this. I don't understand. Why is this continuing? And why is it continuing under Trump? Now, I know he can't clean up the whole swamp at once. He can't. He is doing a wonderful, wonderful job. The swamp is being drained. The further it gets drained, it's just like when you drain a river or whatever, you dam it up to drain and dredge or whatever, and as the water level goes down, you see all the garbage and bodies sometimes, that have been there, submerged under the water that nobody knew about. Well, that's what's happening, draining the swamp. It's like the level's coming down. The more the level is coming down, the more we're aware of, because it's coming to the surface, right? Because it's being drained. And boy, it's a mess at the bottom. A big, 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 big old mess. So maybe it's just the point, the fact that he hasn't, he's taking it, sequentially. And this is something that will be dealt with at a later date. But my gosh, this absolutely, I knew this, and I'm sure all you knew this, but it's alarming. It really is alarming to realize that all this stuff has been going on all this time that we didn't even know about. Because we were walking by and we'd see the swamp and we'd say, oh, well, isn't that pretty? Yeah, it's pretty till you drain it. Yeah. And then you start seeing the nasty things that live beneath. And that's what we're seeing right now. Not too pretty. All right. Now, let's look at this. Now, this, pretty sure will outrage you. All right. Court orders Christian to pay $55,000 to a trans politician for calling him biological male. Yeah. You heard that right. $55,000 because this Christian called a trans politician a biological male. It doesn't matter if it's true. Okay. Vancouver. Well, that answers a lot, doesn't it? Canada is, if you think America's bad, it's really bad here. Vancouver, March 28th, 2019, a BC human, that stands for British Columbia, you non-Canadians, a British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal has ruled that a Christian activist discriminated against a man who claimed to be female by distributing flyers that refer to the man who was running for political office at the time as a biological male. The court ruled for transgender activist Morgane Auger, born Ronan Auger, and against Christian activist Bill Whatcott by declaring it's discriminatory not to accept transgender people as the gender they claim to be. I claim to be a yellow belly sapsucker. That's what I want everybody to refer to me from now on. And if you don't, I'm going to sue you. And tomorrow I may want to be a platypus. And the day after that, I might want to be Prince Andrew. I don't know why. No, I don't want to be Prince Andrew. Let me see, who else do I want to be? I don't know, somebody. And if you call me anybody different, I'm going to sue you. Tomorrow, remember, platypus. All right. In a 104-page ruling released Wednesday, read full ruling below, the tribunal further declared there's no room for any public debate in the matter, according to the Vancouver Star. Oh gosh, no. We can't have public debate. Goodness sakes, no. No, let's just tell you what to do and that's it. No debate. Goodness sakes, we don't want people talking about stuff. We just want them to obey. Right? Obey. The tribunal also ordered Whatcott to pay Ogre $35,000 in compensation for injury to his dignity, feelings, and self-respect. Tomorrow, when I'm a platypus, and you say that I'm not, well, I'm going to sue you for injury to my dignity, feelings, and self-respect because I'm a platypus, dang it. A platypus. And an additional $20,000 to Ogre for Whatcott's alleged improper conduct during and before the hearings, it reported. Whatcott, 52, described the tribunal hearings as a kangaroo show trial and said he's not surprised by the decision. Jesus Christ is still Lord and he will come again. I put my hope into that, he told LifeSite News. Well, and I respect him for that. You know, he hasn't done, I don't agree with this. There's a new, what do they call it now? There's a name for it. If you refer to someone that, you know, like say Bruce Jenner, well, if you refer to, what's her name now? Caitlyn Jenner as her former name, that is against whatever. It's against Twitter. I mean, you get kicked off of Twitter if you do that. Probably get kicked off of other places. Next, they'll be suing. I mean, this is incredible. $55,000. I'm a platypus. Okay, so Ogre, who narrowly lost to a former Vancouver mayor, alleged the flyer was discriminatory and exposed him to hatred and contempt under Section 7 of British Columbia Human Rights Code. In a December 11th to 14th hearing, the JCCF and the Canadian Association for Free Expression oh my gosh, that is an oxymoron right there. Canadian Association for Free Expression. There's no free expression in Canada, folks. And there's very little free expression in America either anymore. Anyway, the Canadian Association for Free Expression intervened on Whatcott's behalf, while West Coast Leaf and the BC Teachers Federation intervened for Ogre. Whatcott's lawyer, Dr. Charles Lugosi, intended to give evidence that Ogre was, in fact, a biological male as a defense. Tribunal Judge Devin Qanon, however, ruled the truth of the statement in the flyer is not a defense. Since when did truth not become a defense in a court of law? Are we living in bizarro world? Like, are we all on candid camera? Are we living in an alternate reality? What happened to our world? Seriously, truth is not a defense. So there you go. When you tell me that I'm not a platypus and you prove that I'm not in a court of law, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, I can still sue you because that's not the point. The point is I identify as a platypus. There you go. So, Yeah, the truth, truth is not a defense, people. Therefore, to the extent that Mr. Whatcott intends to call witnesses to establish the truth of his impugned publications, that evidence is simply not relevant to the legal issue and will not be heard by the tribunal, she wrote. Lugosi also argued Whatcott's character rights of free speech and religion allowed him to express his views. A summary of Lugosi's legal defense of Whatcott can be found here. The tribunal, which was composed of lawyers Qanon, Diane, can't pronounce her last name, and Norman, another name I can't pronounce, disagreed. The ruling penned by Qanon declared that even questioning transgenderism is discriminatory. The proposition that we should continue to debate and deny the existence of trans people is at the root of the prejudice and stereotypes that continue to oppress them. So, and I'm not going to keep reading this because I think I'm flogging a dead horse or a dead platypus. I don't know. But here's the point. In that whole cake baking fiasco about the Christian couple that a gay couple came and asked them to bake a cake for their wedding, and the Christian couple declined and said, it's against our beliefs. Well, others, to prove a point, went all over asking Muslim bakeries if they would do it. Well, they all declined too. Nothing was said to them. See, Christians are literally, and Christian values are persecuted. And if you doubt that, you haven't been paying attention. Really, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Let's go back. I don't know what can top that, but, well, here we go. Donald J. Trump says, so funny that the New York Times and the Washington Post got a Pulitzer prize for their coverage, 100% negative and fake, of collusion with Russia. And there was no collusion. So they were either duped or corrupt. In any event, their prizes should be taken away by the committee. And Donald Trump Jr. Replies to that and said he's right, unless they give Pulitzers for fiction. And of course they don't. But yeah, I don't know how you can get a Pulitzer Prize for the coverage of Russian collusion when there was none. And it was all negative, all fake, but they won prizes for it. Now, I would say that the Pulitzer Prize has lost all value now, just like the Nobel Peace Prize lost all value when it was given to Barack Obama. Did he deserve that? No. And did the New York Times and the Washington Post deserve a Pulitzer Prize? No. Unbelievable. Let's look at this. Another one. Another headline that's going to make you go, Democrat makes Me Too claim against Joe Biden. He smelled me and kissed my head. Well, and he is running for, well, he was, I'm not sure if he still is, running for president, going to run for president in 2020. I guess he wants to be groper-in-chief. But yes, he definitely loves to touch and smell. Scratch and sniff Joe. Former Nevada Assemblywoman Lucy Flores, now a social justice activist, revealed that Vice President Joe Biden was creepy with her during a campaign event. She said in an essay for The Cut that the incident occurred during her campaign for lieutenant governor in Nevada in 2014 when Biden came to the state to help the campaign. But before the campaign rally, he touched her in a way she felt was inappropriate. I was taking deep breaths and preparing myself to make a case to the crowd. I felt two hands on my shoulders. I froze. Why is the Vice President of the United States touching me? I felt him get close to me from behind. He leaned further in and inhaled my hair. I was mortified. I thought to myself, I didn't wash my hair today, and the Vice President of the United States is smelling it. And also, what in the actual F. Why is the Vice President of the United States smelling my hair? He proceeded to plant a big slow kiss on the back of my head. My brain couldn't process what was happening. I was embarrassed. I was shocked. I was confused. There is a Spanish saying, don't know what that says. It means, Earth, swallow me whole. I couldn't move and I couldn't say anything. I wanted nothing more than to get Biden away from me. My name was called and I was never happier to get on stage in front of an audience. Flores said that the pictures of Biden touching other women inappropriately made it more difficult to keep silent, referring to Biden nuzzling the neck of Secretary of Defense Secretary Ash Carter's wife, kissing Senator Chuck Grassley's wife on the lips, whispering in women's ears, and snuggling women on the campaign trail. I may have been able to give Biden the benefit of the doubt had there not been multiple articles written over the years about the exact same thing, calling his creepy behavior an open secret. Perhaps it would feel less offensive, she wrote, and yet despite the steady stream of pictures and the occasional article, Biden retains his title of America's favorite uncle. That's creepy. Creepy. Biden has earned some negative attention for his past behavior, including mockery from Jon Stewart in a 2015 Daily Show segment. Apparently, the Senate rite of passage is you're not really sworn in until Delaware Joe has felt up one member of your immediate family, Stewart joked. Flores said that she felt it was important for her to speak out as Biden was considering a run for president in 2020. This was an incredibly difficult thing to do, but something that felt necessary. It took a while before I found the words and the support that made me feel like this was finally a story I could tell. That from Lucy Flores. Yeah, and I have no doubt she is telling the truth because we've seen it over and over and over. If you doubt that, look on YouTube. Look on YouTube and look for creepy Joe Biden. You will find all sorts of stuff and really inappropriate touching of children. I mean, really inappropriate, where they had to pull away and, where they were, looking at him like. And let me tell you, if that was my son or daughter that he had done that to, I would have broke every one of his fingers. Now, I know that does not sound very Christian, but I have no tolerance for abusing children. None whatsoever, especially sexually. Absolutely abhorrent. It affects that child for the rest of their life. And I know you'll say, oh, well, he just touched her breast slyly. Yeah, it affects them. Trust me, it does. So yeah, no, I have no tolerance for that. And I don't know. I mean, I would hope that I would be able to respond appropriately without hurting anybody, but I don't know if that was my child. I don't know how I'd react. And you notice Jeff Sessions had his little granddaughter, I think it was, and Joe Biden went up to touch the granddaughter and Sessions, and I love this. It's out there on YouTube, but you can Google it. He goes like this. He slaps his hand away, and I thought, that's awesome. He knew. He knows exactly what Joe Biden is all about. So let's go back. And let's get down here to, okay, this from someone named Bud. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez never had a child, never been married, never ran a business, never bought a home, never managed people, never had a professional job, never served on a committee, no life experience, but at 29, she dictates to us what the government should do with America. And let me add that every single one of her ideas have been utterly ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they're not coming from her. Let's face this. It's not coming from her. It's coming from her handlers. And I do feel for her in that she is being used, but she's allowing herself to be used. So I don't believe that she agrees with all this stuff. She's doing what her handlers are telling her to do. That's it. I I don't even know how she says some of this stuff with a straight face, really, honestly. I don't think I would be able to. And this, some good news. Hey everyone, Judge Janine is back tonight at 9 p.m. on Fox News. Let's welcome her back by giving her show the biggest ratings ever. America missed you. Welcome back, Judge. Can't wait to see you again. Saturday night was not the same without Justice with Judge Janine. I don't know why I have a problem with her name. I always want to call her Jeannie. Janine. She is an awesome woman, very, very intelligent woman, very well spoken, and I'm so glad she's back because it was extremely unfair what happened to her. Now, let's look at this. First, just because we can. Okay, I'm sorry to do this to you. No, really I am. But, you know, I think it's a good thing for us to see and look at. It's like, you know, it's like people say, look away, but sometimes you have to look. You have to look to really appreciate how bad it is. Okay, let's listen to...
So proud of the work of Chairman Adam Schiff. In stark contrast...
Wait, did she just say she was proud of the work of Adam Schiff? She couldn't have said that. She couldn't have said that. Let's listen to that again. I'm hearing things.
Proud of the work of Chairman Adam Schiff. In stark contrast to the irresponsible, almost criminal behavior of the previous chair of the committee. So what is the president afraid of? Is he afraid of the truth? That he would go after a member, a chairman of a committee, a respected chairman of a committee in the Congress? I think they're just scaredy cats. They just don't know what to do. So they have to make an attack. They did the wrong thing. American people know that. It's their own insecurity, their own fear of the truth, their fear of the facts, and their fear of an effective, patriotic leader.
Did she just call Adam Schiff an effective, patriotic leader? Seriously? Has she been sniffing glue? I couldn't have heard that right. I couldn't have.
Effective, patriotic leader.
She did. She called him an effective. I mean, just that alone, calling him effective. I mean, that's just plain ludicrous, asinine. But calling him patriotic? Wow. This woman is, I don't know.
In his measured way, is going to make sure the American people know the truth.
Oh, well, Adam Schiff is going to make sure the American people know the truth. I believe that. All right, let's go back. Just when you think it's safe to get back in the water, it's not. And this I thought was very, very cute, so I thought I had to share it. These two guys are adorable. It says, breaking, Representative Tim Burchett and I found the elusive Schiff report that allegedly proves President colluded with Russia. So here it is. They found it. They found the proof. Here it is. Now, let's see here. There's the Schiff report.
Should we open it up? There's got to be proof of evidence in here.
There's got to be evidence in there.
Here, let's. Nothing here. I don't know. I guess that's it. That's it. There's no proof. There's no proof.
Now, I thought that was cute. I really did. So I had to include that because I know you guys have a sense of humor, or you wouldn't be here listening to me. All right, let's go back and let's look at this. John Brennan. Yeah. The obstruction of justice issue, however, is too important to be dismissed by a Trump-appointed Attorney General with a predetermined view on presidential accountability to the rule of law. We need to see the report. And Scott Adams says, when did it become illegal to obstruct a hoax? Yeah, I'd like to know that too. Really. You know how Q always says, these people are stupid. I don't think these people are just stupid naturally, because nobody can be naturally this stupid. They can't. It's not possible to be naturally that stupid. They have had to been taking lessons for a very long time on how to be stupid. They had to have been. They're too skilled at being stupid for it to just come naturally. Don't you think? That's what I think. I think they've been taking lessons. Yeah. And this from Jessie Jane Duff. Hashtag Schiff has access to classified intelligence. He repeatedly lied to Americans that his committee had dug up plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy against President Trump with Russia. At Representative Adam Schiff must step down as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Hashtag MAGA. Don't you think it's hysterical? I mean, seriously, do you not think it is absolutely hysterical that Adam Schiff is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee? Seriously, I mean, how out there is that? I mean, that's a, wow. You know, I mean, even putting Adam Schiff and intelligence in the same sentence, seriously, it's like an oxymoron. It's like saying giant midget shrimp. You know, there is no such thing as a intelligent Adam Schiff. Okay, all right, now let's go on. This from Majestic 12. Twitter attempting a race war. Knows there is no such thing as a better or worse race. We all bleed the same. We all love the same. We all hurt the same. We are all one. Those who try to push division, mute their account for nothing they say is worth your time. And this is Twitter moments. People are sharing stories of outrageous things they've gotten away with thanks to hashtag my white privilege. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to attempt a race war. And I'm not going to get into that. But I knew that this was going to be attempted way back in the early 90s because of reasons I can't get into. Oh, gosh, I hate it. I wish I could just talk openly about everything. All right. But that is what they're trying. They're trying to start a race war, and it's very evident. So we need to be more alert and more understanding of each other, despite race and all that, because it does not matter. It doesn't matter. We're all Americans. We all have red blood. Who cares? You know, I don't. They're the ones that are trying to make us care whether someone's skin is white or black or brown or yellow or red. It does not matter. It does not matter. It most certainly doesn't matter to God. Most certainly doesn't matter to President Trump. If we're Americans, we're Americans. So we need to stop this division between us. Yes, there's differences in our cultures and so forth. Yes, there are. But that's where we need to be a little bit more understanding. Anyway, let's go look at this. Wow, this is actually insane. Another angle of the overflow crowd in Grand Rapids last night has surfaced, spread this far and wide. This deserves endless retweets from team. And look at this. This is the overflow. That's not the people that are inside. Well, obviously, it's not the people that are inside, but this is the overflow. These are the people that can't get in. I mean, unbelievable. That's a lot of people, folks. And I can guarantee you, if we blow this up and look, we don't have people photoshopped and cloned in like you do with some of Hillary and Obama's meetings or rallies or whatever they want to call them, because you really did have that with Hillary Clinton. And I can attest to that because I did just that. Blew it up, looked at it. There was people cloned in. I mean, you'd see the same person and you'd see them like 10 times in the crowd. It's like, give me a break. Are you really that desperate? Yeah, they are. And they don't want anybody to realize how popular our president really is. But he is. And, oh, yes. Let's take a look at this. Christians, stop saying Jesus is the Son of God. It provokes Muslims. What is your response to Muslims now? Well, let me tell you, without reading all the way through this, I'll tell you what my response to Muslims is. You will have to kill me before I will stop declaring that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I will not ever stop declaring that. I'm sorry that his name is offensive to some, but do you think that they would stop declaring the name of Allah? Of course not. And any true Christian would never stop saying Jesus is the Son of God. So modern day Christians' anxiousness to avoid offending Muslims could be the death of Christianity, and I could not agree more. Buried in the concluding paragraphs of a Christmas Eve Washington Times report about Muslims in Uganda forcing Christians to convert to Islam was the extraordinary revelation that in that country Muslims now consider any public statement of the Christian faith to be a calculated insult to Muslims for which they can justify exact revenge. This is or should be sobering news for the comfortable Christians of the West who have made an idol out of interfaith dialogue and fastidiously avoid saying anything remotely critical about Islam, even after the Muslim persecution of Christians continues worldwide. In June, the Times reported a group of Muslims attacked Christian preachers in eastern Uganda, causing a crusade where Christians publicly profess their faith and invite others to join. Muslims in the town accused Christians of mocking Islam by publicly saying Jesus was the Son of God. In response, said Christian pastor Moses Saku, the Muslims became violent. They became very angry and began throwing rocks at Christians, chanting Allah Akbar. Many Christians were injured during the incident. The Christians appealed to the Muslims to have respect for those of other faith. The Muslims responded with contempt. One Muslim declared, "We have now declared a jihad against them. We are not going to allow anybody to despise Islamic teaching at their church or crusade. We will seek revenge." So I'm not going to go on and read all this, but if you don't think that can happen here, then you are sadly mistaken. Now, let's go on. And let's take a look at this. I can't remember what this is, but must be something. Of course, the alternative is that it's nothing. Oh, yes. Trump cuts aid to Central American countries as migrant crisis deepens. We've already looked at that, and I don't think that we need to really read all the way through that, because there's another couple things I'd like to get to before time expires. Now, this will cause you outrage, I think. Look at this. Pedophile baby jumpsuits pulled from Amazon amid outrage. Now, this is like a baby's onesies, and it says, I just look illegal. This one says daddy's little F toy. This is, it's been a long time since I've seen anything so offensive, especially knowing what we know, right? Amazon was forced to yank baby jumpsuits emblazoned with revolting slogans such as Daddy's Little and Daddy's Little Slut from its shelves after massive backlash over the tasteless duds which critics say are aimed at pedophiles. It is shocking, and I'm surprised it is there in the first place, Professor Marcy Hamilton of the child advocacy think tank Child USA told the Sun newspaper. It has a way of normalizing the activity, child sex abuse, which is extremely dangerous to children. It is the first time we have seen such wording aimed at pedophiles on clothing for babies. Amazon should have much better control over products for children generally. The offending clothes, which were sold on the site by third-party Canadian vendor, well, that doesn't surprise me, have since been removed, according to Amazon. All marketplace sellers must follow our selling guidelines, and those who don't will be subject to action, including potential removal of their account. The product in question is no longer available, an Amazon spokesperson told the Post. So really, it really isn't Amazon's, because I know that, things slip through with Amazon, but as soon as they were notified, they did remove it, to their credit. But it is amazing that anyone would try to sell that kind of product on Amazon in the first place. Absolutely disgusting. So let's go back, because I do have one other thing that I want to get to here. Well, guess I can't get to that. Don't know what happened there, but let's look at this. Donald Trump Jr. Tonight, Donald Trump announced he'll fully fund the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. Let's keep our Great Lakes beautiful. $300 million, amazing news for our national resources, the great outdoors, and our sportsmen and women. So that is very good news. And this, Muslims in California are asking people to not decorate for Easter or Christmas this year out of respect. And here's my answer to them. No. Why this was and is supposed to be a Christian nation, and I just don't think that that's reasonable to ask people to not decorate for Easter or Christmas. It's not reasonable, and I wouldn't comply. But that's just me. And I don't live in California, so I don't have to worry. And I don't know why that's there twice, but it is. Now, I think I'm going to stop there because it is 10 o'clock and we've been going for quite a while now. And I do have more Q-related news, and certainly tomorrow, again, I wanted to remind you that I may not be able to post, but I am going to try my very hardest. And certainly if Q posts, I will make an extra special effort to try to get the drop decoded and get a video made. So anyway, and if not, I'll catch up Tuesday, and probably at that time I'll be able to do a couple videos. I'll have some Q-related news collected by that time, and hopefully at that point we will have more Q. So I will see you then. Thank you guys so much for listening and for tuning in, because otherwise I'd just be sitting here in a chair talking to myself, and then people would start to wonder about me, and well, that wouldn't be good. So anyway, hope you have a wonderful evening. Seek truth. Deception bites.